Welcome back. Build better cattle and you'll build more profit into your cow-calf operation. So how do you do it? What are some of the keys to building better cattle and improving your bottom line? Cattleman to Cattleman reporter Brian Baxter talked with the experts from Purina to find out what steps producers can take to help maximize their return on investment.
Producers are always looking for ways to increase the value of their calves, and there are a number of actions they can take to increase calf prices. One option to consider is a larger lot size. Data shows increasing the group by as few as 5 or 6 calves can boost the selling price by almost $4 per hundredweight. This can be accomplished by narrowing your calving window to create a more uniform calf crop.
What we want to try to do is shoot for a goal to have a 60-day calving period. And when we have a 60-day calving period, we have a more uniform calf crop. So when we take those calves to market, you'll get more of a premium dollar for that group of calves. If you're on a 120-day or greater calving season, look at doing it 1 year at a time, breaking it down and leaving those bulls out 15 to 30 days less than they did prior, and just keep working it and really looking at culling those cows that are really stragglers toward the end and really late, and kind of grouping them together. You don't have to do it all in 1 year, but if you can do it over several years, I think it's less of a hit than doing it at one time.
To meet the 60-day calving window, it's important to manage your cows closely. By monitoring condition score on your cows this fall and winter, you can positively affect the breeding interval and improve the uniformity of your calf crop.
Make sure those cows are in good body condition score when they go into the breeding season. That means when they're calving, they need to be in good body condition score. I really like to look at 60 to 90 days prior to calving, looking at 60 to 90 days after calving, and really trying to maintain a body condition score 6 or close to it as you can, because that is a barometer of their reproductive efficiency and prepares those cows and getting them bred as soon as we can after postpartum.
Grouping cows into a shorter breeding season also helps you plan feed needs. Having more cows in the same part of the production cycle means you can use your feed resources more efficiently.
When we get down to a 60-day calving period, we can also feed those calves or cows a lot more economically, because they're grouped together a lot tighter in the stage of production instead of being spread out from early trimester to open to calving.
Another step toward building better cattle is looking at developing a preconditioning program. The demand for preconditioned beef calves continues to increase, and calves in value-added programs sell for higher prices. To tap into that opportunity, producers need to implement health and vaccination protocols.
The key thing that we're trying to achieve, and this is something that everybody has to focus on, is that there's a big difference between giving shots and actually properly immunizing the animal. The ultimate goal is to have circulating antibody in these calves that will help protect them from developing clinical disease when they're exposed to disease pathogens through the marketing or finishing channels. Certainly one of the tools that we use to do that is using solid vaccination protocols. Generally, as we look at vaccination protocols, it's very important to consider trying to do it at the optimal time when those animals are not stressed, where their immune system may not be functioning appropriately.
One goal of any preconditioning program should be to help calves adjust to eating processed feeds. Calves will take to dry lot feeding more easily if they've been exposed to processed feeds before weaning.
The primary goal is to keep them from getting sick, and the only way you're going to do that is to get them on feed early and also put something that's very well balanced in front of them. You need to think ahead of time. You don't want to wait until the last minute to make preparations for weaning, because it's too important and it's a very stressful time. If you think about it like this, in general, cattle that don't eat get sick, and sick cattle don't eat. So if you ever get in that futile cycle, it sends your profits down the drain.
If we can keep cattle going on a constant plane of nutrition throughout their entire life without these peaks and valleys, then we've got a better chance of them, number one, not getting sick, number two, performing like their genetics say they should perform, and therefore having some more predictability in their gains.
Let's return to Purina Farms in Missouri to learn more about how you can build better cattle.
The weaning phase is perhaps the most stressful part of a calf's life. The change in environment and separation from the mother can cause a calf to not eat as it should. That's why it's important to select a well-balanced feed ration specially designed for starting cattle.
Purina's got a couple different programs that can help you put a well-balanced ration in front of those cattle, but also be a palatable ration at the same time. We have a traditional ration and the preconditioning receiving chow ration. It again is one of those rations that has that 40-45% true roughage. It's balanced to where they can eat 3-3.5% of body weight. You'll be getting plenty of nutrition, but at the same time stay healthy and keep that rumen environment like we needed to keep them on an upward plane of nutrition through that weaning phase. We have also a really unique and innovative program in the Impact Starter program. It's a program that's a little longer term program than the preconditioning receiving chow program. We're talking 2 to 3 weeks on preconditioning receiving chow, whereas we're talking more like 3 to 4 weeks on this Impact Starter program for a commercial calf.
Purina's Impact Starter feed, which combines higher energy and low roughage, keeps calves from losing ground after weaning. And Purina's patented IM technology modifies feed intake so calves don't overconsume the starter feed. The result, calves get on feed faster and gain weight more quickly, adding value every day. Beyond the quality and nutritional balance provided by the starter feed, simple things such as where you position the feeder can play an important role in maintaining the health of a calf.
It makes a lot of sense to put the feeder up against the fence and to set it perpendicular to the fence. So in other words, if this is the fence line, set the feeder perpendicular into the fence. The reason behind that is to make sure that a calf that you just turn into a pen for the first time after you've weaned him, he's going to go around the edge of that pen looking for his mother. So if you set it perpendicular to the fence, he's going to find that feeder eventually.
And don't overlook the calf's water supply.
You think, well, water, whoopee-doo, what's the big deal with water? Well, on weaning calf nutrition, it's vital because these calves must learn to drink water from a new source. Typically, they're out on range, they're drinking from a tank, a pond, or a stream, and now we're putting them in dry lot in some cases, and they have to learn to drink water from a new source. It tastes funny, it smells funny, sometimes it's not clean. Well, if we put dirt in our water, nobody's going to drink it. And the same way with a calf. Well, the key thing on a calf is that if they don't get enough water to drink, they're not going to eat. And if they don't eat, then they can get sick.
Another key factor in building better cattle and higher value calves is realizing that the lifelong performance of any calf begins with the nutrition the mother cow receives while she's carrying that calf.
She's going to be developing a calf inside her, and the one thing that we're learning now is a term called fetal programming, where how we feed the dam really affects the lifetime performance of her calves and also the offspring of those calves. So nutrition, which is protein, energy, also vitamin and mineral nutrition, is really critical for the mama cow while that calf is developing.
The calf crop you plan for today is the one you'll sell in 2011. By making key decisions now, you can make a positive impact on the value of your calf crop.
We always think about this year's calf crop while we're selling and marketing now, but we need to be preparing and thinking about next year's calf crop. And that's when we start thinking about our bull selection, how long we're going to turn our bulls out, making sure that our bulls are fertile, doing a breeding soundness evaluation on those bulls before we turn them out. Some things like that, make sure our cows are in reproductively sound health, make sure they're vaccinated, make sure your bulls are tested for certain reproductive diseases such as trichomoniasis or Vibrio as well. And I think that will help.
Well, I think one of the key things is to use common sense. It's kind of like having your own kids. These calves are your kids, and you're taking care of them now instead of mama.
Fundamentally, it's the right thing to do. With the consumers' increased focus in on animal care issues, appropriate antibiotic use, it is important to really keep our vision and focus on food safety and animal care to make our system most efficient and effective.
A healthy and happy group of calves will turn a healthy profit and make the producer happy as well. I'm Brian Baxter reporting for NCBA's Cattleman to Cattleman.
You can learn more about building better cattle from the experts at Purina Mills by visiting our website at cattlemantocattleman.org.